Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Yoga for Everybody session. My name is Skyla Ramirez. Let's get started today in any easy seated position. We're going to move through a breathing technique that's used to detox your gut. So, detoxification of the gut can be interpreted as um, literally like helping to move stagnant waste out from your gut. It can also be interpreted as detoxification for the lymphatic system that feeds into your gut. It can also, it can also be interpreted as detoxification of cortisol or stress hormones that tend to kind of pool in the gut area. So we're going to do a little bit of spring cleaning with the gut today. So from any easy seated position, and easy seated means get comfortable. So any easy seated position means you might want to sit up on a pillow or sit on a couple of stacked blankets. Just make sure that your low back and your hips are pretty comfortable. So the breathing technique we're doing today is called Bhastrika, which is also known as the Bellows Breath. It looks like this. We lower the chin, we pull the muscles up in the pelvis, we take in one big breath into the belly through the nose, and then you exhale really hard. It's almost like a karate chop. It's a strong exhale. We're only going to do 5 to 10 of these. And when we do them, we want to keep the pelvic floor really engaged. This rapid actually moves your breathing muscles. It kind of spasms them with a quick contract release. And that can put a little pressure on the bladder. So we want to keep a little bit of a lift and tone in the pelvic floor. So the muscles that support the bladder are going to be there to support us in the breath. Now, if you're unsure about the muscles in your pelvic floor, you could always get a yoga block and put it between your knees, or even a beach towel, and just squeeze while you do that ha breath. This is one way to activate the muscles in the pelvis. So let's get started doing 5 to 10 of these, and you don't have to do it very forcibly to reap the physical and energetic benefits of it. So first thing is first, chin down, pull the muscles up in the pelvis, inhale through the nose, exhale with a ha. Again. Last one. Now from here, just let yourself relax. Maybe turn the gut a little bit left and right. Let's come to center. Take the hands down in front of you with the left hand side of the right, and press the tips of the thumbs together. Dhyana Mudra. This is to stimulate energy channels that help us to focus. Dhyana Mudra, intent on focus. As we sit tall, the shoulders are rolled back, the chin is down enough so that an egg can roll off your head. Let's just simply notice the breath, inhaling in through the nose, and then exhale from the throat as if you're going to follow the mirror, nice and slow with that exhale. Ha breath, releasing heat, releasing a vaporescent energy. This energy sometimes helps to get things moving in the body, helps us to work out any blockages. Now keep that ha sensation and press the lips together. So it's going to retain some of that heat and some of that vaporescent energy. Inhaling in through the nose, exhaling with that ha breath, keeping the lips together. Maybe just one more. Listening for the quality of that breath, listening to how it hollows out the back of your throat. When you're ready, just allowing the breath to be at ease, no effort, no strain in the throat or the neck. From here, let's take the palms down onto our knees, and we're just going to shift forward and back, coming forward only as far as our low backs are in agreement with this movement. So if you're noticing any strain in your spine or pain in your hips, maybe don't go so far forward. When you're ready, lift up through center and then start to slowly go back, round your spine, pull the belly button in, and maybe even tuck your tailbone under on the floor. We're creating a cat expression with the spine. Chin is pressed into the chest. Arms might straighten out a little bit. When you're ready, come forward, hips flipping back, belly leads, heart over the knees and thighs, looking up, the elbows are bent, and we might even open our throat just a little bit. When you're ready, pull the navel back, contract the abdomen, maybe tuck the tailbone under. Cat pose, coming forward, bringing the belly forward, pulling up, opening up the gut. Cow pose. Now, sometimes this is just considered an abdominal crunch for the sake of being able to maybe tap into some muscle memory. It is a lot like cat and cow, and I'll give you a side view of it. Inhale, come forward, pull your ribs up, exaggerating a big arch in the upper back and spine. So you're pressing your shoulders down and back, giving your kidneys and adrenal glands a little hug, a little squeeze. When you're ready, straightening out the arms over the knees, rounding through the rib cage. We're creating a deep abdominal contraction, and we can drop our chin into the chest. So now we're contracting and getting that hug and squeeze to the gut, the intestines, the liver. You might want to do this rhythmically with your breath, coming forward, elbows bent. Inhale, lift the ribs, shifting our gaze towards the ceiling or where the wall meets the ceiling. Exhale, straightening out the arms, pulling the navel in, rounding the spine. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhale, rounding back. Adding in that ha breath with the lips together. Inhale forward. Ha breath. Lips stay together, creating that hollow sound. Inhale forward. Exhale, ha breath. Just one more set. Inhale forward. Exhale, ha breath. From here, let's come to neutral. Take your left shoulder down towards your left hip. Maybe circle that right arm up, reaching straight up with the right arm, creating a deep bend on the left waistline. Breathe into the upper right lung. Big inhale with a reach. And then exhale, slowly lower the arm. Let's slowly bring that left shoulder up. Reposition the spine to neutral. When you're ready, push your right shoulder down. Lean a little bit over to the right, even allowing the right ear to drop to your right shoulder. Let's take our left palm up, circle it back and around, reaching straight up towards the sky. You could look over your right shoulder for this side stretch. Inhaling, reaching up and out of the ribs. Think about pressing your left hip down into the floor while that left arm extends up to the sky. One more big breath in with the reach. Exhaling, let's lower the left arm first. And now reposition the head and neck with your shoulders. Take your ribs over to the left, moving that right shoulder down. You lift that left shoulder a little bit. Take it over to the right. Dropping your left shoulder, lifting the right. Let's do one more time to each side. So we're isolating and massaging the sides of the belly and the gut. Also isolating and massaging the liver with this little side to side contraction through the trunk of the body. Now we've warmed up our bodies side to side and front to back. Let's put it all together. So we are thorough in cleansing or swippering the gut today. Take your energy over to the left. Now come forward. Lift your chest. Take it over to the right. The chest is lifted. Now press it back. Round your spine. Keeping the spine round over to the left. Come forward, pull your chest over that left knee, exaggerating the lift of the heart. Sweep the heart through the front of the body over to the right. And now press back, round your spine on the right. Keeping the spine round, let's take it over to the left. Lengthen the spine over the knee, sweep the heart over the floor, over to the right. And now round it and take it back. Just one more like that. Sweeping around, coming forward, lengthen through your heart, spine extension with a spiraling energy. And now take it back. Hold it in that back position. Let's hold it at neutral. Let's switch directions on this. Take your spine over to the right. Pull the ribs and the heart over your right leg or your right knee. Sweep the heart around to the left. Pull it back, rounding the spine, keeping the spine rounded, sweep to the right. Lengthening over the right leg. Heart sweeps over the floor, rounding the spine back. Maybe just 2 or 3 more in this direction. So we're making big circles with the rib cage, hips, and lower body are anchored to the earth. And we're doing some big contractions with the ribs coupled with that sweeping motion. This is our last one. Let's hold it back, deeply contracting the belly and rounding the spine, clearing out the backs of the lungs. From here, let's come to center, sitting nice and tall. Let's go ahead and take our knees in front of us. And then let the hands come back past your hips. So to protect your shoulders, you might want to keep the fingertips forward, facing your feet, or you can turn the fingertips just a little bit out to the side from your hip. Just try avoiding turning your hands back. If you turn your hands back, it creates a very unnatural alignment on your shoulders and arms, and it could even pinch nerves in your neck. So either fingertips forward or to the side, flat palm or up on the fingertips. Find what's comfortable for you. Let's bend those elbows deep. Take your feet, make sure they're flat on the floor, and then just let the knees sway left and right, peeling up your hip off the floor. So we've gone from warming up the trunk of the body with the hips anchored to the earth. Now we're anchoring the upper body through this light connection with the hands to the earth, and we're creating more of an active flow with your hips and your knees. So just a couple more times left and right. Peeling up the hip. This is stretching muscles that go from your back hip all the way up to a diagonal shoulder. So when you take those knees over to the right, hold it on the right. And if you want, you can try straightening your arms a little bit so that you create a pretty big stretch that goes diagonal from the inside of your right hip up to your left shoulder. From here, take it to center, bend those elbows, knees go over to the left, straightening the arms so we get a big stretch from the inside of the left hip up to your right armpit region. Let's bring it through center, Taking our time, we're coming around into all fours position. Having our shoulders, elbows, and wrist in a straight line, and the knees are directly under the hips. From here, let's extend just the right arm straight out in front of us, just that right arm. When you're ready, lower the right arm down, extending just the left arm, reaching out as if we're going to shake someone's hand. And you can shake really low with that arm extension, or we could lift the arm pretty high, stopping at the point where we would feel our bicep next to our ear. Let's lower that arm, alternating this a few more times. Really tune into your base of support. Shift the energy into the left hand, spreading the fingers, and reach with the right arm. Let's lower that right hand down. Shift into the right hand, spreading the fingers. Extend the left arm. Bringing that down. Shift into the left, extending the right. And maybe we shift down into that right knee, and maybe we extend our left leg back, or just lift the knee. So you can take that left leg back all the way straight, keeping the foot and the leg parallel to the floor, or maybe lower the leg a little bit. When you're ready, let's lower both limbs, shifting our energy into the right hand, extending the left arm straight out in front of us. Press down into the left knee and maybe lift the right knee, or extend the right leg all the way out behind you, creating a nice straight line from the tips of the left fingertips through your low back, all the way back to that right heel. One more big breath. Exhale, let's bring the limbs in. From wherever you are, touch the toes together. Open your knees wide. Now start sitting the hips back towards your feet and relax the arms and head to the floor, finding child's pose, Balasana. As we hold child's pose here, let's focus on the breath in the back of the body. Breathing down into the low back. Breathe up to your middle back and side ribs. And then maybe find that breath behind the heart, or even under the shoulder blades. You might even feel the breath under the armpits. Creating a wave-like motion with the breath. That wave-like motion really invoking the water element. As we're moving into a warmer season, we focus on more of the water element to keep the body cool and to continue to flush out toxins that can build with the heat. Breathing into the low back, middle back, upper back, and then exhale, relax your upper back, middle back, and lower back. One more easy breath like this. Let's extend our arms out in front of the body, seeing that the hands are at the width of the shoulders. Let's shift forward just a little bit and separate our feet. Tucking the toes under, if you want, go ahead and lift your knees, lift your hips, and let your head hang between your arms into downward facing dog. Now, as an alternative, we could always lower the knees. We could come down onto our elbows and then find that downward facing dog expression. So there's lots of opportunities to experiment with this pose and to create as much comfort as possible for your body in the practice. No matter where we are, let's all shake our head yes. And then turn the head left and right, making sure that we give the body an opportunity to release any tension in the head, neck, or jaw while we're holding the posture. Try at least one long exhale here. Inhale through the nose. And now long exhale. Sinking breath. The longer the exhale, the more opportunity there is to Release tension. When you're ready, let's slowly lower those knees, finding all fours, preparing ourselves to come up to standing. You can come up any way you want if you are curious about these very specific transitions to reduce the risk of injury. You're welcome to watch me. So to come up safely, we recommend that you pick a leg and let that one leg come forward. From here, we would place one hand on that supporting thigh, maybe a hand on a chair or a wall for support, or both hands to the thigh. Tuck the back toe under and shift your weight forward, pushing into the leg, and then bringing both feet onto the floor. From here, let's hang loose. Hands can be on your thighs or shins as we hang loose. And we're just going to let that head hang. Hanging like a rag doll, maybe bring the hands up to the opposite elbows and arms, and then allow the body to sway a little bit. Keeping a soft bend in the knees while you hang out like a rag doll. Practicing those long exhales from the throat. Notice when you exhale, is it possible that the low back releases a little more on your exhale? Tune into that connection between the breath and the body. Truly, the more we relax our jaw, the more potential there is to relax your back. So if you know that your back is locked up, really relax that jaw. One more. To safely come up, first let's see our feet at the width of the hips. Toes are forward. Let's walk our hands to our shins, and now maybe to our thighs. And we're just going to take our time to slowly come all the way up into standing. From standing, let's take our hands onto the hips, establishing a nice, strong mountain expression with our base of support. Go ahead and let your body rock forward and back. Spread out your toes. Let's give our bodies an opportunity to interpret and digest the sensations in the feet that are going to support us for the next few postures. Come to a still point, roll to the inner and outer blades of your feet, giving the body an opportunity to activate the arches of the feet, those energies that keep us connected and supported by the earth. Eventually coming to a still point, let's look down at the feet and bring them in to the width of the pelvis bones. So if we have them out at hip width, maybe just bring them in so that they're a little more narrow. And for most people, that's going to mean anywhere from 4 to 6 inches between your feet. From here, let's simply relax the arms. Pull up the kneecaps, keeping the knees soft. Imagine you have a yoga block or maybe even a golf ball between the thighs. And you're going to press in and pull the muscles up in the pelvis. Let's keep the shoulders rolled back and down, chin down, lengthening through the crown of the head and pulling up the ribs. Tadasana, strong mountain pose. As we continue to lengthen through the crown of the head, we are reaching with our fingertips spread towards the earth, being stretched between earth and sky. These two opposing energies come together at the navel center. So maybe even close the eyes. Exhale, draw the navel in tight, and then try to pull the navel up under your ribs, feeling for an energy that is pulled up to the sky from your navel, through the heart and throat, and through the crown of the head. Release that contraction, press firmly into the soles of the feet, and maybe even feel that the earth is coming up to meet you, and you're having to resist the pressure of the earth rising. Feeling for a sensation from the navel to the pubis bone, and then splitting out to your knees and feet. There's an energy that is drawing down into the earth. That great divide in energies is in the gut. When you're ready, open your eyes. Let's bend the elbows a little bit. Inhale, taking the arms back and around. Nice, big, sweeping, flying circles. Exhale, take it back. Keeping the elbows bent. Feeling as if this movement originates in the spine and out to the shoulders. The elbows and the palms are just following along with the movement of the shoulders. Matching breath to movement. Inhale, sweeping arms overhead. Exhale, ha breath, lips together. 2 more. Practicing strengthening and stabilizing that energy of your neck, throat, and shoulders. And practicing that ha breath. Ujjayi energy. 1 more big inhale. And then big exhale. Let's bring our hands together at the heart. Anjali Mudra, keeping those knees soft. Let's step our left foot back, a very casual stride. Keeping a healthy bend in that right knee. I'll give you a little side view of the pose. So I don't have my feet very far apart, and I'm keeping my right knee directly in alignment with the right ankle. It's okay if the knee goes a little more farther forward. We just want to avoid the knee going past the toes. That could create a lot of dangerous pressure on the knee joint. So when in doubt, just keep a little kink in that knee. Don't go too far forward with it. From here, having that right knee bent and the left leg back. When you're ready, let's take our left hand to our hip and the right hand down. We're circling that right hand back and around a few times. Maybe even allowing the trunk of the body to follow with that rotation. Keep pressing back into the left heel. We want to anchor that energy on the left side of the body down to the earth. And we're stretching from that left hip up to your right armpit. Let's hold that right arm up, square the hips at center, feeling that our shoulders are stacked directly over the hips. Inhale, reach with your right hand and maybe turn the hand as if you were going to be screwing in a light bulb. So there's a little bit of rotation in the palm as we reach. Let's look up just for a moment and then look forward in the direction of the heart. And now look over your left shoulder, experimenting with just a little bit of movement through your neck and throat. Keeping the gaze over to the left. Inhale, reach a little more with the right hand. And now pat yourself on the back with that right hand. Let's tuck the left knuckles in by the low back, maybe walking the fingertips towards each other to touch behind your heart. Cow's face arms with our Warrior One foundation. Keep bending that right knee, lunging forward. Pull the shoulders back over the hips, press down into that left heel. Let's try 3 big breaths here, keeping the inhale in the center of the chest and exhale with your mouth open. Big breath in through the nose to the center of the chest. And now exhale, mouth open. 2 more. Last one. When you're ready, release the right hand down by your low back. Let's straighten the right leg, both legs straight, and at the same time, there is a micro bend in the knee. So straightening the legs, different from locking out the legs. There's a little micro bend there, a softness in the joints. With our hands by our low back and our legs straight, let's inhale to the center of the chest. Pull the ribs up. Maybe imagine your heart is being pulled forward a little bit. Then pull up and draw the shoulders back over your shoulders. Let's press our shoulders down towards our hips. Stretching the gut, stretching the belly. We're stretching the intestines in case there are any blockages and in case there are any muscles that might be clenching around those blockages. We release tension in the muscle and we release the blockage as well. One more big inhale. Exhale, relax the arms, relax the shoulders, and let the hands fall to your side. Let's step forward to find our strong mountain expression. Feet are in more narrow than the hips to the width of the pelvis bones. Toes are forward, knees are soft, shoulders roll back. Let's bring the hands to our heart. Anjali Mudra, pressing the thumbs to the center of the chest. Lowering the chin. When you're ready, sliding that right foot back, very short, very casual stride. We turn that right heel in and bend the left knee this time. From here, inhaling, taking the arms up and overhead. Let's take our right hand down onto our right hip, anchoring that energy on the right side of the body. Press back through that right leg, pushing down into the right heel. When you're ready, circle the left arm back. And as you do, allow the trunk of the body to ever so gently follow that rotation back and around. Think about what's going on in your right hip as we keep our right hand by the waist and the hip. Notice when you circle back, you're pulling that left armpit and shoulder away from that right hip. It's almost like you're stretching the same area that you would cross over when you lock into a seat belt inside the driver's side of your car. So you're kind of stretching from where your seat belt would lock in by your hip. Pull back and up with that left armpit and circle it around. Let's do one more. Big inhale. When you're ready, take the arms straight up overhead, and this time we are unscrewing the light bulb. Inhaling, reaching up, pulling up and out of that left rib and armpit, opening up the left side of the body. And in yoga medicine, or when we use yoga as medicine, this is used to improve metabolism and digestion, which improves elimination processes. It helps to drag toxins out of your body, thus helping us to feel more alert and to have a little more energy in the day. One more big inhale, reach. And now exhale, pat yourself on the back with that left arm. Take the right knuckles to your low back. So let's take a moment and just become aware of what your body is experiencing in this pose. In particular, what's going on in the neck or the shoulders. If you are having any pain in your neck or shoulders, lower that left elbow down in front of you. This lifting of the elbow can be really valuable to help us to maintain activities for daily living, like being able to wash our own back, to button things up, or to put on jewelry, brush our hair. But it can also be very strenuous on the nerves of the vertebra. So if you're having any pain with it, we're going to ease up on that stretch and we will allow that body to soften a little bit, elbow in front instead. From here, as we inhale, let's pull and open the chest. Maybe let your chest come forward and then pull the shoulders back, stacking those shoulders over your hips. Taking at least 3 big breaths into the center of the chest. Exhaling, a couple more. You can exhale with the mouth open or closed, no matter what, keeping that ha sensation. Let's lower the left hand to the low back, straightening both legs, keeping a little bit of a micro bend, a little kink in the knees so that there's healthy blood flow there. Inhale, pull up through the heart. Imagine your heart is being pulled forward, and then you're going to draw the shoulders back. So this is creating an upper back bend, upper thoracic back bend, cleansing through the thoracic ducts of energy. Inhale, lift the chin. Maybe even look up to where the wall meets the ceiling in your space today. One more big breath. And now exhale and just relax the whole body. Let's let the hands come down, shake off the arms. Step with your feet at about the width of the hip bones. From here, we're moving into our standing balancing pose for today. So our standing balancing pose today is a standing pigeon. This can also be done from a seated position or from a chair. For the standing variety, I highly recommend that we have some sort of support nearby. I've got this nice bike here that I can hold on to. You can have a wall, a chair, a kitchen counter, a door. Just find any means of support that you might be able to lean into so that you don't have to focus on balance. You're still balancing, but you don't have to focus on it. And instead we can concentrate on the hip stretch in the pose. So I'm standing on my left foot and my support is on my left side. That way, as I lift my right leg, I can lean into that mean of support. When you're ready, let's lift that right leg and turn your right knee out to the side. The preparatory posture for this is tree pose. And we could even hold tree pose, maybe even take your right arm up and experiment with taking the left hand away. This is a great way to prep the body before we go into the balancing stretch. To add in just another layer of curiosity to the pose, lower that right arm so you have both hands secure. Take your right foot and cross it over your left shin or cross your right ankle on top of the left thigh. Let's press the hips back. The chest is going to come forward. Keep pulling your heart and ribs forward over the legs, over the knees. Little bend in that left knee. At any point, you can sit the hips back a little more. Maybe even take one or both hands away from your prop, away from that means of support, and allow the body to stand strong, all on its own, supported by the earth, rising up to meet you. Practice a few long exhales, either mouth open or closed. If you're feeling tightness in your back, open your mouth. Maybe even stick out your tongue. Just one more easy breath here. Standing pigeon. When you're ready, let's slowly find some support for the body and stand tall. Uncrossing that right leg, both feet come down to the floor for support. Let the body shift a little bit. When you're ready to do the other side, we're shifting our weight into the right leg, lifting the left and turning that knee out to the side, finding an expression of tree, Vrikshasana, tree pose. We might want to let that left arm come up, just giving the body a little bit of time to interpret different ways to achieve balance. Different body positions means just a variety of opportunities for different muscles to jump in and help us. Let's secure ourselves, feeling strong and balanced. When you're ready, crossing that left leg over the right, it can be above or below the knee, as long as it's just not on the knee. Bending our right knee, the hips are hinging back. The spine is naturally going to drop out of that hinge. Inhale, lengthen the heart over. Continuing to breathe easy here. Exhaling from the throat. Open the mouth to release tension in the back or spine. Hands could always come to the heart. Maybe just one or two more easy breaths here. When you're ready, slowly find a support. Let's come to standing and bring both feet to the floor. Shake out the knees, move the hips, kick out those ankles and legs. Now, as we are coming down to the floor to round out the final portion of our session today, you may want to go ahead and grab a sip of water. Maybe even grab a pillow or a blanket if you know that you'd like to maybe get a little more comfortable on the floor. Let's come down to the floor in a seated position, taking the legs straight out in front of us for seated staff. So seated staff oftentimes is interpreted as a almost a seated expression for mountain pose. So we were standing in mountain. The difference is the hip is a little more closed here. This is considered another foundation pose. Much like mountain, it can really help us to feel safe and secure, and there's a lot of opportunity for support in the pose. From here, let's bring our toes and our feet as close together as the body permits, and we're actively pushing through the heels. Bend the knees a little bit. If your low back is rounding, sometimes we don't even know the low back is rounding. Here's one way to know. If you feel like you're leaning back, or if your tailbone is tucked under and your stomach feels tight, there's probably rounding in the body. So to straighten the spine, bend the knees, come forward, sit tall on the hip or the sits bones. Keeping those knees deeply bent, you can start to straighten the legs a little bit. As soon as we start to notice any rounding or rolling back, we know that the body has gone too far. So we encourage the body to ease up on that stretch. Let's all find a position for the legs that helps us to keep a tall posture. From here, we push through the heels and pull your toes towards your body, flattening the soles of the feet. Spread out your toes nice and wide, keeping the arches of the feet active. Let's open the palms of the hands. Inhale, sweep them back and around, and then reach straight up overhead. So we have a nice tall expression from the hips up to the tips of the fingers in our seated staff, which is also a firm foundation like mountain pose. One more big inhale, pull up through the ribs, reach with the fingertips. On the next exhale, let's swan dive, taking the hands behind us. And this time we can turn the fingertips back, lengthening the heart and ribs up over your knees. Maybe start to use your hands to push forward with the chest a little more. This could create a little more sensation with this stretch. At some point, your spine is going to tell you that it wants to relax. We are going to give into that today. So go as far as you can with that stretch, taking a big breath, finding as much sensation as possible, and then come to that point where you listen to the body and you just relax. Let your upper back round, drop your head, maybe hold on behind the legs, or reach out for your toes if that feels accessible to you today. Let's practice that breath in the back of the body, invocation of the water element with the lungs. As you inhale, breathe down into your low back, up to the middle back, up to that space under your shoulder blades. Exhale, relax the shoulders, relax your ribs, relax your low back. At least 2 more breaths like this, taking our time to direct the breath fully into the backs of the lungs, not only clearing out the back of the lungs, but also working on massaging the kidneys. We want those kidneys to be nice and active. If we are unblocking and moving any toxins through the body, we want the kidneys and also the liver to be able to actively flush all that out for us. When you're ready, keep the head down, slowly walk the hands in. Let's bend just our right knee really deep and try straightening out the left leg while that right knee is bent. If you want, cross the right leg over your left leg. Let's take our left arm up, start twisting to the right, and maybe wrap that left arm around your right knee. We're placing our right hand really close to the right hip or even by your spine, lengthening through the spine while we hold the twist. If you'd like to experiment with a little different arm placement, maybe lift your left hand. And you could always try bringing your left elbow on the outside of your right knee. At this point, maybe you employ a little bit of leverage, pressing the knee into the arm and the arm into the knee so that you're able to swivel just a little bit more through the trunk of your body. Remembering that twisting postures are very powerful, all on their own. We don't have to impose a lot of effort onto the twist, but sometimes it does feel good just to have that little bit more of leverage to work out some kinks in the spine. Let's inhale into our upper right lung, sitting nice and tall as we continue to twist. Just one more easy breath here. Let's take our time to release any tension first in the left shoulder. So reposition your left elbow, arm, and shoulder. Then push off that right hand, bringing the spine to neutral. Heart and shoulders are squared with the body. From here, uncross that right leg. Let's stretch out and shake out the knees. When your body is ready, let's do the other side. Left knee bends in. Holding the left knee with the heel in alignment with your hip. This is considered a foundation. This is one of the safest places for the back. If you'd like to experiment a little more, crossing the left leg over. So this is an option. It's not necessarily the safest place though. So if you have sciatic nerve, or maybe you have fusions or hernias, compressions in your back, this is not for your body. So maybe keep it over here. You can change your mind at any time. Try whatever you want and then change your mind. From here, let's sit tall, taking the right arm up. We're placing that left hand really close to the left hip or down by our low back. You can lean back into that hand. Inhale, reach up from the armpit. On an exhale, we're twisting, wrapping that right arm around the left leg. Maybe take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And again, maybe using that leverage, pressing the arm into the knee and then the knee into the arm. Turning our head with the rotation of the spine, breathing mostly into the upper left lung. Think about what's going on in the right foot. Let's push through the right heel and keep that right foot dynamic. One more big breath in. When you're ready, slowly release any tension on the right arm first. Let's unwind the spine, squaring the shoulders and the heart to the rest of the body. And now uncross that left leg. Shake out your knees. Move your ankles and feet around a little bit. From here, we're lying down on the floor. To lie down on the floor, you might want to scoot to the front of your mat and let the knees sway a little bit. Notice if your body feels more comfortable rolling to the left or the right. Let's roll over onto one side. Lying down in a sleeping child's position just for a moment. Let's give our spine a little bit of time to adapt to this different plane of motion. When you're ready, slowly roll over onto your back. Keeping the knees bent, the feet are at about hips width distance. Let's place our hands on our belly and feel for your breath today, breathing down into the belly, noticing the rise and fall of the abdomen with each cycle of breath. Our head and neck is positioned with the gaze towards the sky, maybe closing the eyes. Let's draw our knees in towards the chest, keeping the knees and thighs close together. We hold on to the sides of the thighs or behind the knees, pressing the thighs against your belly, just a gentle abdominal compression. This is known as a belly press. We're using this to just practice one final flushing of toxins in the body. Relax your hips and buttocks, maybe even rock a little bit side to side. Also pressing against the kidneys and the adrenal glands. So this is a pretty big contraction. We've almost sandwiched the front of the body, the belly, sandwiched it behind the kidneys as well. So you have a nice big squeeze into your gut and spine. Let's come to a still point and lower the feet. Maybe take the feet out really wide, wider than your mat. Then allow the knees to come in, knees touching with the feet wide. This is called a bent knee shavasana or bent knee relaxation. If you're comfortable here, stay here as an alternative. You can always stretch your legs out on the floor, straightening both legs or even putting your legs up on a chair, up on some pillows. Let's just give the body a little bit of time to get comfortable. Use the next minute or so to maybe stretch in any other natural way. We want the body to work out any kinks or any fidgety movement. That way we can embrace a few moments of stillness in our guided meditation practice. Once you find that place where the body is able to embrace stillness, let's focus all of our efforts and energies on a 3-part breath. We may want to put both hands on the belly or one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. As we inhale, feeling as if the lowest part of the lungs inflates first. Allowing the lungs to fill up into the middle part of the body, and then allowing the upper lungs to fill around the heart and in the chest space. Pause there for a moment and just notice the sensations that come with the fullness of the breath in your body. Remember, you're not holding the breath against your will or against your body's will. It is simply enough time to move into a place of observation where we begin to notice the sensations that accompany the breath. At any point, start to soften, exhale, relax the chest first, and then relax your belly. And maybe pause after the exhale. Take a moment and notice in this place, again, you can breathe at any time. We're not resisting a natural urge to breathe, but rather we're just staying long enough in this place to observe the sensations that come with contraction. Inhaling, belly up to the heart. Pause. Embrace the fullness of your breath. And when you're ready, exhale from the heart to the belly. Pause and embrace that sense of contraction, the sense of pulling in. We call it Mudra, to draw into the heart of things. Inhaling, Spanda, to expand consciousness beyond the physical body to the energy components, noticing how your body is affected by your breath. Exhale, relax the heart, relax the belly. Mudra, pause. What do you feel in your chest? Now make this seamless. Let's take out all of those gaps, all of those pauses with the breath, and just inhale and exhale with ease. Noticing the rise and fall of the breath in the body. That rise and fall of the breath might be in your chest, your belly. Maybe it's an expansion to the side body. So maybe as we inhale, it's not so much of a rise as much as it is a spreading or a widening of the energy. And as we exhale, it's not a dropping, it's a drawing in. In this place, the mind and the body are intimately connected. There is unification bridged by the breath. In this place where opposite energies come together and create balance. Take a moment, embrace some peace. From this peaceful place, we can close our practice today, and you might want just to continue breathing and resting here where you are. For those of you that maybe have a few other appointments today, we have been practicing for about an hour. If you know that you want to come up to seated, please take your time. No matter where you are in closing our practice today, let's take in a deep unifying breath. And then let it go. Let the chest relax, the belly, the side hips, and the back. From here, we can close together, everyone. Namaste. I hope you have a beautiful day.